Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Friday, June 20th. We're here. We made it to the end of the week. We got a giant slate on tap, some nice hitting weather. I'm going to go into it all. Before we do, come join us at LineStar. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do. The props, the DFS, you get it all. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Now let's dig into it. We're going to start by the perfect lineups from yesterday, then get into the winning lineups, and lastly, get into the pitchers and stacks to consider for tonight. So, starting with yesterday's 5-game slate on DraftKings, we got Charlie Morton, we got Strider. Both went nuts. Both have games. That higher velo for Strider did stick, and Charlie Morton's resurgence stuck. We got Phillies, 2-man stack, 2-man A's stack. I almost wanted to call them Oakland. Sorry to you Oakland fans there. All in all, 207.2 was the perfect DraftKings lineup, and the winning lineup went to Jay Acosta 85, 157.9, won by 1 point. They had Strider, they had Sanchez, two chalky options that got it done. And then A's 5-man stack, 2-man Tampa Bay, and a one-off of Bogarts, who, you know, cost the Padres like $4 million yesterday with that performance. By far the one of the better performances for him on the year. Congrats to Jay Acosta. Now, let's check out what we got on FanDuel. Strider, 2-man A's, 2-man Braves, 3-man A's. Then we got a Bogarts, Schwarber, and Kauser one-offs, all of which have been going nuts lately. And the winning lineup went to Baxter, who had Strider, had a 4-man Braves, 2-man A's, and a 2-man San Diego stack to round it out there. So the old 4-2-2, love to see it. Congrats to Baxter, and let's dive in to see what we can get today. Our highest owned pitcher, we got Max Fried, 19% owned versus the old Baltimore in New York. We got nice hitting weather in New York, but Baltimore has struggled to hit lefties all year long. Last 150 splits, 232, only a 127, 26 ISO, 25% K rate. They've just been bad for a long time. Now, they've been hitting a little bit better recently over the last 20, a 264 average. However, it is still a .084 ISO, 24% K rate, low WOBA. I love the spot for Fried, who has just been amazing all year long. 2.97 FIP over his last 20, 3.41 over the last 5. K rates in that 24% range. StatCast data is great. He keeps the ball on the ground, which definitely negates some of that hitting weather as well. I like the spot for Fried. I'm going to have a bunch of them. Next, we got Nick Pivetta, 9,300. 4-star alert score, 18% owned. Versus the Royals. Pivetta and Pivetta at home has been very, very good this season. Love the spot for Pivetta. I'm definitely going to have some. 3.32 FIP over his last 20. 3.5 over his last 5. K rate in that 27% range. His StatCast data is always a little questionable because he allows a ton of fly balls, 47%. But it is in Petco, which it's just hard to hit home runs there. Barrel balls wise, the numbers up there a little bit. All in all, I like the spot. He's only allowing 26% hard contact. I'm fine with going Pivetta here versus the Royals, who are a bit hit or miss, you know, this season as far as when it comes to batting. I do worry a little bit about young Jacques, who finally hit 2 home runs yesterday. First 2 in his career, and he goes back-to-back. Maybe the floodgates are opening for him. Royals definitely have some bats, but I like the Pivetta side of this one. Next, we got Hayden Birdsong, 8K, 17% owned versus the Red Sox. The Rafi Devers-less Red Sox, that lineup just does not look nearly as potent. And Birdsong's been solid, 3.53 FIP over his last 20, 2.9 over the last 5. K rates in that mid-20s. StatCast data is, not all terrible. 30% hard contact, 37% line drives is a bit high, but all in all, I don't mind Birdsong in this spot. He's probably priced a little low. And there is upside with Red Sox at 28% K rate over the last 20 versus righties. I don't mind going here. I do worry about the upside a little bit, but he's going 100 pitches. The K rates are there. The FIP is there. I don't mind taking a chance there. I do think he may be going a little over-owned, but don't mind it. Next, we got Jack Flaherty, 8.5K, 16% owned versus the Rays. He's been pitching a little better lately. The K rate climbed up a little bit as well. I'm definitely interested in Flaherty. I think he may allow a home run or two, but as long as it's a solo shot, I think he's in a great spot versus the Rays. We do have a little bit of worry about some rain in Tampa, though. The Storms do look a little closer than Tampa. I know it's going to be a daily thing all summer long, but definitely a bit of an increased chance today for at least a delay. Don't mind Flaherty, though. Next, we got Joe Ryan, 9,500 versus Minnesota. Dude's been dealing all year. The winds are blowing in strong, and he allows a lot of fly balls, so that does definitely help him quite a bit here. Opponent team splits are in his favor. BVP data is in his favor. I'm fine with going some Joe Ryan. I think he's probably going a little lower owned. We have him at a almost 21-point projection, which is up there with the guys that are, 10K plus. Hunter Brown, 11.2K, 21.5. He's in a great spot. Love me some Hunter Brown in this spot. 30% K rate, 32% over the last 5, 2.86 FIP over his last 20, 4.26 over the last 5. So he hasn't been pitching quite as well, but he's in a great spot versus the Angels, who strike out a lot. There's big time upside in this spot. I'm going to be all over Brown, even at 11.2K. The upside is just huge here. Zach Wheeler, 10.8, 4-star alert score, 12% owned. Wheeler has just been absolute dominant all season long, and I don't mind going back here. K rate's up there. FIP is down. He does allow a lot of fly balls, but not much hard contact, very few barreled balls. Team splits are in the Mets' favor here, but it's Zach Wheeler. The one thing I'll throw out there is that he just hasn't had huge upside versus the Mets, and he's faced them a lot. I mean, he went up 30, had 31 game versus them over the last 3 years. So I worry about upside a little bit here, but Zach Wheeler is too good to just fade. So don't mind going a little bit of him. Tanner Bybee, 7K, 11% owned versus the A's. A little interested in here. He is just too cheap for his upside. Over the last 5, he's been dealing 3.6 FIP, 25% K rate. My issue here is he does allow a lot of fly balls, and the winds are blowing out pretty strong in Sacramento. It's almost 80 degrees. That ball could carry a little bit, and he's averaging 34% less fantasy points away. So definitely a little worried about Bybee, but he's too cheap for the upside versus a team that can strike out a lot. Zach Gallen, 7,400 versus the Colorado Rockies. Now, we have the kind of trifecta of Colorado here. It is in the 90s, mid-90 degree temps, winds blowing out 10 to 15 mile an hour. So you don't love the pitching weather here. The ball could definitely fly today in Colorado, but 7,400 Zach Gallen is interesting just because of his ceiling. And if you click to see what he's done against Colorado, in Colorado, it's pretty interesting. He put up 20 versus them last year. 2022, he was dealing that year, so you got to, throw that out there. He had 31, had 30, and then 12. 2021, or sorry, that was 2022. 2021, he put up 30. 22 and 2020, he has a history of success at this ballpark. So maybe the elevation doesn't bother him quite as much as other guys. He's averaging 32% more fantasy points away. I have a little interest. Very tough click today. Colorado is going to be one of my favorite stacks because, frankly, Gallen hasn't been very good lately. 5.47 FIP. Uh, 4.66 over the last 20. It's not a comfy spot to click Gallen, but I think there's some upside, and I don't mind going to that type of price tag. You can pay up for a pitcher, go with a 7K guy also, and then still stack your bats. Clayton Kershaw, 7,200. Guy's been dealing the last couple games. 3.1 FIP over his last 5 starts. His K rate's way lower than it used to be, but he could definitely go 6 innings on 85 pitches and rack up 5-6 Ks, and at 7,200, it's a steal. So a little interested in him at that spot as well. And then we got to shout out Mackenzie Gore, 9,800. The guy has a 2.4 FIP over his last 5, 2.85 over the last 20, and a 33% K rate. But he's against the Dodgers, who crush lefties. So definitely worried, hate the spot, but he's too good of a pitcher to just totally overlook when the field is totally overlooking him. Okay, on to FanDuel pitchers. Our high owned, we got Hunter Brown, we got Zach Wheeler. Much prefer Brown over Wheeler. Next, we got Fried. I prefer Fried over Wheeler as well. Like all three of those are the 3 best pitchers, but I don't mind some Flaherty. I wish he was slightly cheaper here, but 9,400 is a bit cheap for him. Gallen at 8,100 could get it done. Birdsong at 8,300 could get it done. Pivetta at 9K, I absolutely love. I'm going to have a ton of Pivetta probably on FanDuel. I think that's a very interesting spot. And then I wish I was getting a little more discount versus the Dodgers for Gore. He's 9,700 and these guys are right at 10K. It's just not quite enough savings for me in a tough spot. I might have 1 or 2, 3, 4 lineups of him, but I'm not going to go overboard. Kershaw at 8,200 is a little bit of a shot in the dark because we know he's limited pitch-wise a little bit, but upside's there, and he can definitely go 6 on, 85 pitches or something. So have my interest there. Now let's round it out with some stacks and close this out on this wonderful Friday afternoon. And our high owned, we got Arizona at Colorado versus Gomber. Gomber's been pitching well lately, but hey, we have great hitting weather here, and he can allow some fly balls, so Arizona is super interesting. Yankees versus Sagano. They have finally popped out of that scoreless streak. Sagano, he's a pitcher that needs, movement and location. If one is off, it becomes batting practice for any of these teams because he pitches, low 90s, high 80s. And so I don't mind some Yankees stacks there. Highest projected, Arizona. Colorado is going to end up popping up too, but obviously these two are the highest projected by far with this type of hitting weather. White Sox versus Turnbull. Turnbull has had times where he just allows tons of home runs, so I think White Sox have some interest. Milwaukee versus Joe Ryan. Tough spot. Winds are blowing in. Ryan's a good pitcher. Don't absolutely love it. Don't mind a little bit, but not going to go overboard there. Zach Wheeler versus Mets as far as high ceiling. A's versus Tanner Bybee. Bybee allowing a lot of fly balls. Worst away. Worst to lefties. I think there's some spots that are very interesting for the A's. Tampa Bay versus Flaherty. Flaherty can get blown up. We've seen it time and time again in normal Tampa Bay good hitting weather. Dodgers can get to anybody. Obviously, some interest there. Our high leverage here, we got Mets versus Wheeler. They face Wheeler a lot, so can they get over on him occasionally? Absolutely. A's we talked about. Let's click the teams tab. 6.7 implied total for Arizona. Just a giant number. Colorado's at 5.3. This game's going to have a ton of ownership. Colorado's going to be much lower owned, and I think there's a lot of interest for Colorado, like playing both sides of that game. Do favor the offense a little bit over Gallen, but all in all, I'm going to have some of both sides. Love the Yankees at 5.5. Obviously, Arizona at 6.7 we like. ATL versus Jansen Junk. I actually had Junk highlighted, and I'm glad we're able to talk about him a little bit. He's only 5,500 on DraftKings today. also on FanDuel, but 1.66 FIP over his last 5. He has been long relief, only going 60 pitches, so not a huge leash on him, but he's been pitching very, very well. And on DraftKings, if you want to go super cheap, I think there's definitely room to go there. Braves, obviously, can hit the ball very well too, so I don't mind going some Braves. I think Philly versus Tidwell is super interesting at 4.8. Great hitting weather in St. Louis versus Brady Singer. Definitely interested in St. Louis bats. It's 90 degrees, double digits blowing out. Cleveland has the Sacramento hitting weather and that poor bullpen behind Springs, and Spring is a 5.03 FIP over the last 5. That's interesting. A's, Dodgers, Houston, Minnesota all carry some interest. I like Minnesota the least of those. And then if we come down here, Tampa Bay versus Flaherty. Flaherty can get hit hard. Cincinnati's just been hot, especially versus right-handed pitching, so they have some interest. And then Miami is going to go against a 20-year-old prospect. So that can break a lot of different ways. He's younger, maybe nerves set in a little bit more, but he's also very good. That's the only reason he is up at that point. So all these guys, I have some interest. San Francisco versus Dobbins. You know San Francisco is going to be a little hyped up to get that win for Rafi Devers, so definitely some interest there. So that'll do it for us today, guys. I hope you guys have a good one. I'm definitely going to be all over the better hitting environments today. I think that with some really good type hitting conditions, most likely one of those teams is going to go off for your bigger stacks of the day. And so I'm really going to focus my bigger stacks on them. That means Yankees, Baltimore, Arizona, Colorado, A's, Houston, Cincinnati, St. Louis. Most of my bigger stacks are going to be there, a little Philly. So that'll do it for us today, guys. I hope you all have a good one. We'll be back more on Monday. Peace.